What's up, Metal Summoners? It is so great to see you guys as always. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us, rocking out with us, starting off your weekend in the middle of the week just the way that we like to do it. It's myself, we've got Angel right here, and welcome back to your Island of Misfit Toys. And we're going to jump right into everything. Apologize for the delays, everybody, but we were just getting everybody settled, everybody comfortable, and everybody ready to rock out and have a good time tonight, which is what we're going to do right now because we have got New Dilemma joining us. Joey, my
What's up,
friend,
guys? What's
thank
up?
you so much for taking a little bit of time out of your evening, man. Welcome to the Metal Summit.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks for having me. So sorry for the delay. Typical artist, right? I appreciate you guys.
Oh, man, it's that lead singer disease,
It's been a wild time.
Absolutely, man. You got to be careful unloading that lead singer disease on us there, sir.
It happens. It happens.
No, absolutely, man. But first and foremost, man, congratulations on Toxic and everything that's the new singles that you guys have been putting out. And so far, looking back, as we actually move towards the end of 2024, how did 2024 treat New Dilemma?
Man, it's been an awesome year. Everything is worked like we thought. You know, we've really catapulted the numbers and Spotify listeners and YouTube. I think Running Hide's about to hit 200,000 views, so we're super excited about that. We got an awesome show coming up in Mississippi with Post Profit and Messer. So man, things are going good. We're just kind of focusing already on new music yet again, and trying to get back on tour and get on the road. I think that's the next important move for this band.
Right on, man. As you put out a song, and of course, that's the whole backbone of having a band. Putting out a band, performing live is getting that music out there. But when you have a song that's climbing, that's charting, that's getting a lot of views and getting some attention, I mean, obviously that's what every band wants because that's what adds to the longevity of that band. But it's also got to feel so good, so cool inside to watch something that you created climb and grow.
Yeah, man, it's just it's almost emotional, right? Like when people connect and you get that message and you hear their viewpoint and what they got to take out of a song and connect it to their life. And I had a fan reach out just recently about an old song from a few years ago. Is Your Story Over? And he said that song saved his life. And I'm like, that's why we're here, man. That's why we're here. I'm not here for ego. I'm not here to prove anything. I'm here to make art and be my true self and see who we can help along the way with our lyrics, words, feelings, a conversation.
Absolutely, man, for sure. Hey, what's up, Shad? Shout out to the Mad Shad channel who's checking us out. Thanks as always for the bitchin' intro, man. We really appreciate you doing that for me and Angel. So thank you so much, my friend. Check out the Mad Shad channel on YouTube if you like what our intro, and check out what he does as well. But hey, man, when it comes to Run and Hide, talk a little bit about that song. How did it come about? Anything about the song that you'd love to share with the audience and with us? We'd love to hear it.
Sure, man. Run and Hide lyrically, I kind of call it a Bury My Demons part 2 for me, personally, just from the emotional standpoint. And the song is weirdly more exactly what it says than it sounds. Like, the darkness steals all the energy, like sometimes we feel like we can't move, like just totally that mental state that keeps us bound from doing something, depression, whatever that is. I've been there. The life we've lived, the things I go through with my family and the special needs kid and all the different things that we live through. So this one is about sometimes you literally have to run and hide from these demons and find yourself and able to grow yourself so that then you can understand why your proverbial demons are chasing you. We all have dark spots in general. Most people, we have a spot that hits us, something that gets to us, but this is about trying to find yourself within the darkness. And, I always try and have a light at the end of the tunnel kind of vibe with New Dilemma, because that's what my life is. And I'm still living it, and I tell people that all the time, these songs, I'm still living it. These songs aren't past tense. I'm living this stuff.
Absolutely, 100%. And before I kick it over to Angel, give us a little backstory on how the band got started and where the name came from.
All right, I can do that. It's really the main reason this exists, man. So I was a single dad for some years. I was in a band when I was younger, and we were about to go on an arena tour with Creed, and That's how long ago it was. But I had all these things, and then my daughter was born with spinal muscular atrophy too, and I decided to hang it up. I needed to be there for that. Well, we fast forward some years later. I become a single dad in her early teens. It's just me and her, and mom's ends up in jail and tons of different problems, and still out of the picture to this day. And one night, 17 years old or whatever she was at the time, and said, "Hey, Dad, why don't you go show the world what you got again?" And I walked out her door that night and I said out loud, how do I find myself in this new dilemma of things I want to do? And if I should, and new dilemma, that's where that came from. And she inspired me to go back at the world and do this again, man. So all these things and the charting and people like wanting to be a part of this thing, man, is the most amazing thing, because after, with my kid, there's no amount of money. I always tell her, there's no amount of money like that I can fix her. So I'm not chasing money. Like, I'm chasing the art, and for the love of the art and the passion of writing and what we do.
Oh, that's awesome, man. What does she think like of the music and stuff? Is she into it? Does she love the style and like the rock vibe?
Well, let's not get carried away. She is the most supportive. She's at all the big shows and stuff like that, but she's more of a theater kid. She'd much rather be at Hamilton, to be honest with you. So which is fine. They told her she could never do any of that stuff. She kept auditioning. She ended up doing, I think, 26 shows, and It's a Wonderful Life at our local theater. So we're not a family to be told we can't do something.
No, absolutely. No, it's funny. And one of our co-hosts, Steve, he works a lot more behind the scenes and stuff like that right now, because he's been concentrating on family as well. But he's got 2 boys, and he loves talking to artists about like that have children and stuff, so we can ask the question, do your kids think you're cool?
No. By unanimous decision, the answer is no.
Right
she's
on.
proud. I mean, she's proud. I will give her that. When the moments are there, she's proud of the accolades and the things that are happening. But does it make Dad cooler? No, not at all.
Right on. I definitely get you on that one. So Psycho Steve, our beloved man, that one was for you, brother. Appreciate everything that you do. So when you were talking about how well 2024, worked for the band, and that you're, already looking ahead, new music, new writing when it comes to that. What can you tell us at the moment, based, of course, off what you're allowed to announce or allowed to talk about? Can you tell us about like how 2025 is shaping up? Are you looking to concentrate some more studio? Are you looking to be out on the road a little bit more? Of course, family plays into that as well. But what's a little bit that you can tell us about your plans for 2025 in the band?
I think right now the main focus for 2025 is going to be touring. There's going to be, we now have more opportunity to be submitted to more festivals. It doesn't mean, that they take you on, but I think there's going to be a lot more opportunity and things that could pop up for us out of nowhere for 2025. Now, while we are trying to make plans and to be on the road and stuff like that, again, I think touring and getting in front of people is probably one of the most important things this band needs to do again right now.
Nice, man. Absolutely. Angel, my friend, how are you doing this evening, coming at us from AC?
I'm awesome.
Awesome.
I'm 46 tomorrow. Yeah, but
there you go.
Did you say you're seeing Styx tomorrow?
No, I'll be 46 tomorrow.
Oh, got you. Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday, man.
Tomorrow. Hell yeah, brother. It's Angel's birthday show.
Happy birthday.
I'm still trying to be sexiest man alive, but maybe in about 1 million years.
I'm still working on that myself. I don't know if it's working, but before we get too further, I'd like to give a shout out to my guys and my team real quick, if that's
Absolutely.
Cool. Lead guitarist Zach Robin, our bass player Roach, our drummer Sean Kimmerling, our merch designer and helper Stephanie Stone, my wife Cherry, the merch girl, our manager Paul Crosby. Most people know him from Saliva. Love the guy. He's a big reason all this is happening. And Pavement Records, who we just released all this music under this last one. This big shout out to the team for making all these things work and make it happen. It's really why we're doing what we're doing this year.
No, absolutely, for sure. And on our end too, our shout out and love to Barbara, who always loves to put you guys on our radar and be like, hey, I got somebody, I got someone in the chamber if for you guys if you're down. And Angel and I are always like, yeah, send them our way. Give you
All
some
right.
dates.
Well, I appreciate you guys having us on, man, so much. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
And like I said, you're welcome anytime. You're family now. So anytime you got a tour, anything you want to promote, you want to come
Oh
on,
yeah, man.
dude, you're welcome to. So
Appreciate that so much.
so speaking about family, how do you balance life on the road with family? How does that work out for you?
Honestly, it's not easy. I was lucky enough, right as I was still single and moving into starting this band, I met the woman that's now my wife, Cherry, who has been the most supportive person I've ever met in my life. She has never said no. She has never said don't do that. She's never said don't try that. So after all the crazy stuff me and my kid went through, we were absolutely blessed to find someone who loves us the way this woman does. And then I was also blessed essentially with 2 more daughters, and that's what I call them. We don't believe in step in this family. So my youngest just turned 21 yesterday. So that'll make it fair. But the balance, generally I'm out. She handles it all. We actually live in a bigger house with my parents, my mom, and my stepdad. So it takes a small village to make this world go round. And without all those people, it could never happen. So there's, it takes so much to make it happen. Unfortunately, my wife was in 2 serious accidents and has to have surgery next week to have disc replaced in her neck. So it's going to make things tougher throughout the rest of this year. But even with that, she's in great spirit and we're focusing on what's next. But we have a strong support system with our family. Without it, there's no way in hell I could ever do this.
Amen to that. I mean, like I said, with Steve, he has his 2 sons, and Jay and I, we're like uncles to them because we basically have seen them grow up.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And when I've seen them, I'm like, damn.
Yeah, man. Family has nothing to do with blood, brother. Nothing.
Oh yeah. And it's amazing. And just congratulations. Wow, the fact you've got almost 200 views. And that's like mind blowing now with everything that's on YouTube for people to be tuning in.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. That's awesome, bro. Hey man, we just keep trying to spread this story. I think at the end of the day, when you listen to any of them, even like Jelly Roll blowing up, man, people got to have that thing to connect to. And I'm like, I know it's like the generic musician thing to say, but it's like, man, if I can do this, what excuse do you have to tell me that you can't go after something? Look me in the face out of the road that I walked and say, I can't do this. It's bullshit. Get up and do it. You find a way. That's just how it is, man. But that's us. But I just believe that's kind of the person I want to be for people. Like, holy shit, like I can do this. Look at that. It is hard. Sometimes, man, you get up. I do it all the time. There's days I don't want to do anything. We have long nights around the house with the family. Some nights at work and others. But man, you got to just. I think any form of success is about doing it when you don't feel like it.
Yeah.
That's the difference why New Dilemma is where it is today versus where it could be, because of all the days I'm like, I'm going to do it anyway. I feel like crap. I don't want to talk to nobody. We all wake up like that. Like, I don't want to do this today. Like, hey, man, it's at the end of the day, it's therapeutic. You get to meet people like this, have good conversations, make new friends. Like, what life's all about, man.
Can you talk about the video? Ron, it's a freaking awesome video, dude. Like,
thanks, man.
All the success for it, and I'm not just saying it, but it's an awesome video. So how did the idea, the concept, all of that come together for the video?
Well, we work with an awesome dude named Thomas Crane from Kill Devil Films, and I've always just sort of let him run with his creative. When he hears a song, I kind of let him take it in, and we sort of follow his lead. He did Playing Victim, that's on YouTube, as well as he did Is Your Story Over. He's done all our stuff. Bury My Demons. But like, if you just watch those videos, it's all his creative. So we just sort of give him what the story is and let him turn it into. We like that sort of dark, kind of like a little bit of a movie thing and a little bit creepy, with the little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. That's what we say. So That's really, we just let him run with it, to be honest.
Awesome, brothers. Like I said,
We had a great time making it, man. It was a fun one.
yeah, I mean, because it looks like a fun video. I think that's why, like I said, you make a video like that. Because nowadays, it's easy just to kind of make a simple video, but it's like you guys put a whole lot of effort into making this a video that kicks ass. And it's a video that just you want to go back and watch it.
Well, even when I was young, like as a kid, man, and I loved the music videos that gave me some storyline. Now, given you got to dig a little deep to find it, the storyline is still pretty much there in that music video. It's just a little bit darker, but it's still in there. And I love that growing up, man. Like my first concert was like Heart. My mom took me to Def Leppard, Poison. Like, you know, these guys put on shows, man. The music videos had some storylines and stuff like that. And I just sort of, that's where it comes for me, is I really like that. Now, don't get me wrong, like Angel, sometimes you got to do the performance video. And honestly, to you, to the fans, it's a budget thing. It's not we don't want to do a badass storyline music video. It's just we can't afford it this month.
Is it easy to get actors in a video?
We're blessed with so many cool friends from the scene that generally speaking, you need some people to help. We got plenty of friends that are usually willing to jump in a music video anytime. So we don't have it now. In our first couple videos, Bury My Demons and Playing Victim, there's an actress, Inga Jensen. She is absolutely amazing in those videos. But we got lucky because it's one of my wife's best friends and she's just super talented. So again, part of the family. So it kind of came easy to us.
So I got asked this question as a songwriter. Do you ever come across writer's block where you just cannot?
Oh, for sure, man.
And how?
For sure. I'll tell you what, for me is, especially once you're, I don't want to call it this deep in the industry, but you know, sometimes and there's music and you got to get some stuff done. You're like, okay, I got to write the song, and you sit down and I got to write the song tonight, and you never do, and you're never going to. Like, I will literally pop up out of bed at 3 a.m. with a chorus. I'll be not thinking about it and literally taking a shower and pop up with a verse. Like when it hits me, it is literally just like, bam. So that's the way it works for me. I start spitballing emotions first, me personally. Like when I'm having this feeling, I just start writing down the words that associate with that and the things that I'm feeling. And then as that morphs in my brain and the emotion builds with the song as I listen to it more, it just sort of hits me like a train, man.
So you yourself as a songwriter, at what point do you say to yourself, okay, the song is done, it's finished?
Man,
no more of that. It's done. How do you know the moment when the song?
You know, we always say as musicians, we just finally abandon songs. Like no song in the history of ever has ever actually been done. That's just where everybody decided to stop. So it's you know, in the way we're working right now, and the producer Jordan Beal, and the way we're doing our music, we kind of have time parameters anymore, so we can't really mess with that actually too long. So we get it in there. We have a deadline. You know, if I have to finish a song within 2 weeks, that song's going to be done. Even if I have to sort of help put myself in that mood, sit back in the chair and relax, you know, I have some things that help, but yeah, man, that's how I do it.
Oh, now Brian made this comment, and it brings me to a really good question for me to ask you. It's funny you say that. I try to do digital art and woke up a few times from a dream with a logo image in my head. Do you ever write songs inspired by dreams that you have?
I don't, sort of. I guess I've had writing about elements of that that tends to be the darker side of it, but it actually hits me literally in words. Like I will come out of a dream and I have the words I'm looking for. So it's sort of a weird thing. Like I just use my phone now, but my wife just used to put a notepad next to the bed because I would sit up and run out of the room. But I'm going to be honest. I think the other thing is I was out of it so long. And when I couldn't do it anymore, like I didn't write or do anything for 15 plus years. I didn't write a song. I didn't record a song. I didn't write lyrics because if I couldn't be all in, I didn't want to be in at all. I don't have a heart where I can only kind of be in something. I'm not built that way. And so now that I'm all in, man, it's came back. And like when it hits, it just hits, man. It's like, it's amazing.
Gosh, I feel so much we're like CNN tonight talking about songwriting. Because Brian asked a question about songs. What song took you the longest to write or finish?
Oh man. That's a tough one. I'm going to actually say off the last one, Angels Are Crying really took me a while because it was so personal and I had so many feelings. I really struggled to get through it because it was a third party's perspective of a domestic violence and a loved one that we had going through that. And that song's about where you're literally drawing the line in the sand because eventually you have to protect your own mental health. Like when you try and these people won't accept your help, you eventually have to just sort of put it. But Angels Are Crying is literally my daughters and my wife. That's the literal meaning of that song, of watching a loved one go through domestic abuse and just not accept help and lie about it and go on and on. So that one took me the longest to sort through because I just had so many feelings.
Awesome. I'm going to kick it right back up to Jace for more fun questions.
Yeah, no, for sure. But actually, I do want to keep it on the songwriting topic for just a little bit longer because, Joey, one of the things I wanted to ask you about was when it comes to a meaning of a song, as well as in this case, also the meaning of an EP title, is I was thinking about, is your story over? And does that stem from that, that kind of go get 'em attitude and push that your daughter gave you? Does that tie in any way where it was like, is my story over? Do I have more to give? Especially after, getting that shove.
Yeah, man, that story is very real. There's times I thought about honestly taking my own life through that stuff. And then it was like, you get the selfishness. Like I have my daughter, I can't be the parent that gives up on her and so on like that. And so many, unfortunately, so many people do stop writing their story or, they close the chapter in their book before they're done writing. Yeah, man, especially as your story over and still to today. I mean, my lyrics are almost literal. In a way, I don't think I'm an overly cryptic songwriter. I want to make sure that people can dive in and get the emotions that they want out of it. But yeah, man, is your story over is that's spot on from my kid and everything. And even a piece of merch that's still going with that is I'm from the Space Coast of Florida. Like my mom grew up working, she worked on space shuttles and all that stuff. So there's a spaceman floating in space and a little girl he's a balloon and he's letting off. It's actually one of the pieces of our merch. And that's my daughter telling me to go back out in the world. So we, where we're from, what we do, what we tie ourselves into, the feelings, it's just all very connected, man. I don't even know how else to do it personally.
Sure. Absolutely, man. As the front man for the band and the singer, were vocals your first instrument, so to speak?
Oh yeah, man. I got pictures of me with a mic in the front of the stage at like 4 and 5 years old. So it was just something that I did. I mean, I was the guy through high school who was, I played football, but also I was in show choir so I could sing and dance with the girls. So and then a little later through high school, I found weed and thought rock and roll was cooler. That's a whole nother story, but it still got me kind of to where I am today, man. And yeah.
Absolutely. When you were putting together New Dilemma, what was your thought process behind, the sound and what you wanted to put out there? Because, when you're putting together a band, and you're looking for like-minded individuals, members of your band that not only are going to play right, play proper, but also that you're going to have to travel with. But when you were putting together the band, stylistically and musically, what was kind of your thought process to it? Because you do have a good blend with your various like channels that your music really can go, but it's got that nice, just solid, just good old fashioned, just indie rock, just good tight sound.
Yeah, man. When I started this, I sort of had I wasn't genre chasing, or I just wanted to hear what I wanted to hear. And that's what I tell a lot of people. I just wanted to hear what I wanted to hear. Now the band has went through an evolution of members. There was a time like after Cold Tour, and the drummer and the guitar player were just hired guns for touring. So me and Clyde Clark had written that first album with Ben Johnson, and he produced and helped us write all that. And then as things moved on, this group we're in now is about 2.5 years, but like that's when it really dialed in. Like we knew the chemistry was there, the sound was there, and that's why we released the other 4 songs independently last year, just so that we could get a vibe for the sounds that we were building. And what you're hearing right now is honestly the goal from day one. Like I finally feel like we have found that stride. The songs are tight. Our producer Jordan Beal is killing it. I mean, he's worked with some great groups, Architects, and he's just worked with some really great bands. And I think he's just got us dialed in, man. I think we found, they say you got to kind of find your lane, but I feel like we finally kind of got a sound that's our own. Like, I feel like if you hear New Dilemma on the radio, you'd be like, oh, that's New Dilemma, but that's my opinion. So we all know that doesn't mean a whole lot in this world today.
No, for sure. But it's the backbone though of the goals you want to set. It's like, right. Yeah, people are going to be like, well, that's this opinion, that's that opinion. Well, sure. And it's different strokes for different folks, but that also doesn't change the fact that like, your opinion is still what's going to be like a driving force, behind where you're looking to take things. And when it comes to the touring that you had talked about that you're looking to do for 2025, is there any particular way you're kind of like looking to start, or an overall amount of time you're looking to do? Are you looking for like any kind of like chunk touring or something particularly large, or would you be solid with like 3 weeks with this band, take some time with family, maybe a month and a half with this band, take some time with family, so on and so forth?
Yeah, we would like to just get to where we're in solid chunks with no more than actually maybe 2 weeks off at a time, out 3 to 6 weeks at a time, come home for a couple weeks, reboot, get with the family, and spend some time, and then head back out on the road. We feel like we're in that part where we have to get out there and beat their doors down now. Like that's the next step. Like we've been doing that. We just played the House of Blues Orlando a couple weeks ago. So like, it doesn't make sense to go play the bar in downtown Orlando after playing the House of Blues Orlando. So we also want to be careful about not devaluing New Dilemma now. So yeah, man, I think for us and as a group, we are ready to go. And luckily it's sort of slow with all my wife's surgery and stuff. It's actually, the universe has kept it right where it needs to be, and I believe it's going to put us right where we need to be.
Very cool, man. When it comes to people seeing New Dilemma for the first time, like what would we have to look forward to when it comes to a show?
Energy. We don't let it down. I don't like silence. I don't like, like the band, they'll stop and they walk to the back and it's just quiet. There's no talking. There's like, you can't let the crowd go, man. It's like the pet peeve is the front end. Stop letting the crowd go. We bring the energy. I think we bring the connection. I like to talk about our story a little bit, just like we have with you guys today on stage. I like to bring the fans into that. I think it's important. And we want to connect. We want those people to be family forever, because, sometimes just because a band, it's not like the best music you've ever heard in your life. This is for me. Now, I'm gonna use a perfect example. I think Jelly Roll is a stand-up dude, whether people don't like him, they don't like him. But like as a dad, he handled it and he did this shit right for his kids and he handled that. But like I don't pull up Spotify and type in Jelly Roll, right? So but I would probably go see a show and support that. So that's kind of where I'm at for myself, is I want people to want to be there because they respect the story, they respect what we do, they respect our work ethic, and we put on a hell of a show, whether it's your favorite, favorite type of jams or not. But we've been known to convert a couple people.
Nice, man. That's awesome. As you continue to put out more music, you've got Toxic out now, as well as the stuff that you've already released. How do you find putting together your set list? Do you like to keep a fully energetic show from first song to last? Do you like to put in songs that might have a little bit more of a mellow vibe to them, if to bring the, not in a bad way, but to kind of bring the tone down a little bit before you rev it back up? Like, what's a little bit of your thought process behind a set?
Well, we did that for a while, and like Playing Victim, that one was with Pavement in 2020, 2021. I think that one was on the charts as well for a few, but like we have found that we're pretty energetic, and then when we bring it down, the audience seems, there's that where you feel like you're losing them a little bit. So we've decided to sort of just keep it up tempo, but at the same time, and with these songs and these little, I call them roller coasters, where it brings it down in the song, it's like we do have some moments within those songs that sort of brings it and mellows it out for a minute. So that's just from our experience. And I think it was different even touring, right? So like after you get back around the country and you're playing all these venues, you'll find places that maybe you should have brought a couple of, chilled it out a little bit, because we're like in a weird spot between the heavy rock and heavy metal and metalcore. Like nobody knows what to call us. Nobody knows where to place us. That's sort of where we line up. Sometimes we're with a really heavy metal band, like really heavy metal. And if you have those times, and we had our slower ones in there, the crowd's like, what just happened? So I think in the future, it's going to be a lot more reading the area and the type of crowds and adjusting the set list from there. But right now we got it in upbeat mode for Mississippi show.
Nice. It's such a dilemma to figure out where to place you guys.
Yeah, man. I gave up trying to tell. I'm like, we're alternative metal. People are like, you're new metal. I'm like, fine, we're new metal. Oh, you're metalcore. I'm like, fine, we're metalcore. Tag it all. We don't care.
Exactly. Just hashtags for days and stuff like that.
Whatever, man.
We're just,
I don't care.
Exactly.
I would love to tour with Daughtry. Also, I love to tour with Metallica or Megadeth. Let's do it. Like, we don't care what genre. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. For sure, man. When it comes to New Dilemma, with the lineup that you have now, especially with the shout outs to your guys now, how have you found that solidarity to be? How do you guys get along, and also how do you guys do when it comes to the songwriting process?
Honestly, it's almost weird how cohesive this band is. We do not argue. Everybody just kind of has their parts. Everybody, the drummer does the drums, the bass player does the bass. Zach does, Zach is I'm going to call him the overall writer. He's, he went to Berklee School of Music. He's been to Full Sail for production. Like, he has the mechanical skills along with the amazing guitar and writing skills. So he gives us a hell of a platform to start off of when we start, riffing ideas. So everything is common collective. There's no egos in this band, which is, if you've ever been in bands, it's crazy. So it's just, yeah, man, we're very cohesive. We get along. The conversations are simple. We're all enjoying our lives and the opportunities it affords, because there's plenty of crap to, like I call real life, whether you're a rock star or you're not a rock star. There's enough crap in real life. So we just sort of took a different approach when we put this together, and it's really worked out, man. Like I've been really blessed to have these guys to work with, and I look forward to spending more time with them. It's been really good.
Awesome, man. And before I kick it back up to Angel Joey, who were some of your musical inspirations?
My favorite guy of all time is Jacoby Shaddix from Papa Roach. I love
Nice.
Papa Roach.
That's awesome.
Jacoby, I always say that his music got me through life when mine couldn't, and his music always seemed to run parallel with my life. Now I love tons of other bands, don't get me wrong, but like that's the guy that you know, like I dreamed to have a conversation with for 5 minutes one day and just thank him. So that's my guy. Now throughout the band, it's everywhere, man. We like my guitar player loves heavy metal stuff. Of course, everybody with Metallica and some of them. So we have a deep love for a lot of bands, but for me, Papa Roach is always going to be my number one for a lot of reasons.
That's awesome, man. I mean, I'm sure it comes without saying, but you know, have you had the opportunity to see them live?
Oh yeah, man. They're so good, man. His energy, like my stage work is you know, he inspires that. Like I've watched his festivals and stuff for years and how he interacts with the crowds. And man, if you can step up to that guy's level, you're doing your job. That's for sure.
Absolutely, for sure. Do you have a favorite record?
You know, I really don't, because even for me with Papa Roach, so many of the songs I like are the cuts that were never radio songs or the one
Sure.
that everybody knew. And I really don't, because like I said, every record sort of ran parallel with my life. It was just so much relatability for me. And I honestly have no other band that was like that for me. So, yeah, man.
Nah, no worries, brother. Like I love their music. I think they're absolutely fantastic. The funny thing is the first, I love the first record. I mean, Incest is absolutely just bitching. But the funny thing is, it took me a second to kind of figure out if I liked the band or not. And it's nothing personal to the guys whatsoever. It hit at that really unique time of MTV. You started seeing Last Resort all over the place. And while I liked the song, there was also a part of my brain that was trying to connect with it, that was kind of fritzing on the song because it was very different. And I was like, I like it. I feel like this is a song I can really get behind. But there was even a part of my brain that's like, no, man, this isn't Typo Negative. Like, you know, this isn't the 69, this isn't the 69 Eyes or Motley Crue. This isn't what I listen to. Like, it was just kind of interesting. And it was funny because then when he went into, you know, Love, Hate, Tragedy, I remember hearing so much talk about that, and people would be like, well, it's this, it's that, blah, blah, blah. Like they were trying to talk like sophomore slump style. And I'm kind of like, what's wrong with you guys? The thing I really liked about that record, you know, I loved, you know, Someone to Love. But I was also like, it kind of showed, in my opinion, this already almost pre-thought out willingness to evolve. Because it's absolutely nothing like Incest, like at all.
Not at all. And they always took grief for evolving, but it's like they're still standing because of it. It's like you have to evolve. You can't play the same exact thing 20 years later and it's gonna work. I mean, unless you're Ozzy Osbourne or Metallica or I mean, there's a few, don't get me wrong, but the common you know, band isn't pulling that off.
Oh, no, absolutely. And while I think Incest was an absolute masterpiece, and I absolutely loved, you know, Tragedy. I mean, when they dropped what I just felt was the nuclear bomb that was Getting Away with Murder, I was just in it. I was just in it to win it. I mean, it's
all in.
Just from first song to last song, all in order. No need to skip a song. It was just kind of one of those albums where I was like, all right, look, if you're gonna put me on the spot, like that's their master. In my opinion, that's their Master of Puppets album. You know, it's a great, you know,
great record.
That's just the one. But then, you know, but then when you move into all the other great stuff, you know, Paramore, Metamorphosis, so on and so forth. But they've definitely just shown their ability to just churn out like quality music. I actually saw them for the first time with my girlfriend last year, and it was such an amazing show, so high energy, but then also you know, like with your story and like you've been so, you know, candid about and transparent to discuss, is like, you know, putting things out there openly and honestly to the fans. Like there's that segment where they're talking about suicide prevention and stuff like that, and they're getting just very supportive and intimate that way with the fans, like
Absolutely.
right in the middle of the set, where under certain circumstances people could easily be like, God, why? That's such a buzzkill. It's like, no, it's stronger than you think. Just take a second to sit back and just watch the video and listen.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I agree with that.
100% for sure. Angel, my man, let's kick it back up to you, my friend.
Well, let's do a round table discussion.
Dun dun dun.
Here's the question: interview with the vampire or the Lost Boys. One of them has to go. Which movie goes?
I'll totally start. By Interview. You can't compete with Lost Boys.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Interview with the Vampire's gone on that one.
I mean, Tom Cruise as a vampire. No.
Oh,
Veto.
Angel, you're so delicate. You need your keeper seven.
That was great.
No, I mean, but in reality, I mean, like Anne Rice has given so much amazing work to the vampire community, and I can't take anything away from that. I'm a huge, like Joe, we were meeting for the first time, but I'm a huge vampire nerd. I do a vampire persona on a different show and all that kind of stuff. But like, Anne Rice has contributed so much to the vampiric community, but like everything I love in a vampire movie, Lost Boys just gave me.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Yes, my wife loves that stuff. Our decor in our house looks like Halloween is always around.
Oh, same. You would get along with me and my girl too. Like,
Yeah.
It's like we live in a gothic horror gift shop.
Yes.
So Angel, you were the same way. You're saying goodbye to Interview because you don't like Tom Cruise as a vampire.
Tom Cruise as a vampire? Fuck no.
He's out. Veto.
Who the
Veto.
fuck casted him in that? Let's go from Tom Cruise to first album you purchased.
Tom Cruise, the first album. Love it.
First album person. Wow, man.
Or download it if you're that young.
I am not.
I had to put it down.
Honestly, man, I was a crazy punk rocker when I was young. Man, like Rancid, I think, or something.
Nice. Love them.
Like, just wait. I know people would never put that on my, put it on me, but yeah, like Ruby Soho, baby.
I remember that 1992, and the Wolves
It was.
with the record.
Out come the wolves.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that crazy punk rock, man. And even like I heard Green Day Dookie as a teenager. I was like, what is this? And it's like now you look back and you're like 3 chords and like and we're like, yeah.
94.
But
Yeah. What a diversity.
oh man. I'll really blow your mind. Even one of the guys I like is Brendan Urie. That I've said that in interviews. That always blows people's mind. But I'm like, if you don't respect that guy as a singer, you might hate his attitude, hate his band or whatever. But damn, I mean, as a vocalist,
Oh yeah.
come on.
Absolutely. Actually, it's funny because my buddy Will used to like taking me up on stage when I would perform, when I would go to just watch him perform with his like party rock band when he's like playing bars and like Friday, Saturday night dance type stuff. And one of the songs he would always put on me to sing is I Write Sins, Not Tragedies. And I'm like, fine,
Oh yeah.
bring it. I got it.
Yeah, man. You can probably tell by my vocal cord, just the way I'm speaking. I don't have that kind of range, but I always tell people I'm a singer. I'm not a vocalist. I sing because I'm passionate about my words.
Oh, for sure. Don't get me wrong. I don't have that range either. I've been able to figure out where, like, I can do a song. I can do that song. But when it gets to that note, that anybody who knows that song knows what I'm talking about. It's not on that level, but I know where my range is to make it in, to
make it
put in
happen
tune and be able to hit it. But it's, it's definitely not going to be on the level there of, grab a fistful and twist.
Yeah. Me neither, my friend. Never. Me neither.
Next, which member of the 27 club would you bring back?
Wow. That's a big list. I mean, for my time range, the one that of course was Kurt Cobain was like the biggest loss of my, teenage rock stars.
Yeah.
So I guess for me it would be Kurt Cobain, and I still don't think he shot himself. Let's start that theory. Get the conspiracies going. I don't think he did it.
Courtney.
How else was she ever going to get in the spotlight?
Exactly.
Anyways, that's a different show, right?
Yeah.
Conspiracy.
That's the after hours show.
Yeah.
God, gee, that's like Courtney love.
That's the adult hour.
Sorry,
For some
I
reason,
just saw this post over here. Happy angry sex. I'm limited to a half octave. I was reading the comments over there. All right.
Courtney Love or Yoko Ono?
That's great.
Metallica.
One more question. Well, we're going to discuss who you would like to tour with.
Who would we like to tour with?
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, obviously from our previous conversation, Papa Roach, but man, there's a long list I think that would be awesome to tour with, Falling in Reverse, Motionless in White, Disturbed. As far as big bands go. I'd also love to tour with Seven Dust.
Nice.
I'd love to tour with Breaking Benjamin. I mean, any of those, some of that stuff I grew up on would be amazing. But man, there's some great new bands. I mean, Dark Divine is slaying it out of they're from over here, and we know a couple of those guys, and they're absolutely taking the world by storm right now.
I love that band. I think they're so awesome.
Yeah, man, they're great, man.
I saw them on the Black Veil Brides Villa Vallo tour.
Oh yeah. One of our buddies even out there, he's been doing photography for Black Veil. Sean Brandon, he's done some work for us. He's been out doing photo stuff for Black Veil Brides and some other giant bands, man. It's just really cool. Some of the people we're around and know, and the success starting to take off around here. I think it's much needed for the talent that comes out of Orlando, Florida.
For sure. I'd like to see you guys out with 30 Seconds to Mars. I think that would actually be a really cool pairing.
I would love that. I would totally love that. Love that guy too.
Yeah.
Another amazing one. Craziest thing in a crowd while on stage. Oh man. I don't let me see. I think the craziest thing I ever saw was one show. I seen someone get a nose broken. That was one of the craziest things I ever seen. Took an elbow in the mosh pit, broke their nose. I haven't seen anything too crazy. I haven't had anybody throwing brawls at the stage or anything like that yet that I'm aware of. But yeah, that's one of the crazier things. I mean, craziest thing from stage, I would say the craziest stuff you see is post-show on tour at the merch booth late at night after everybody's been drinking. That's a different conversation.
That's also part of the after hours episode.
yeah, that's another part of the after hours episode. But yeah, man, somebody getting that hurt, and of course we stop the show and stuff like that. I'm one of those, if I see somebody down hurt, like I'm stopping. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
do a tour.
You started out a little choppy, Angel. We missed the beginning of that.
How do you maintain your voice when you're out on tour?
Man, honestly, after the first week or so, it kind of just stays there for me personally. Like, after you're doing it every day. I mean, I have a little and run some, stuff like that. I use, oh man, I can't believe I forgot her name. The Queen of Scream is what they call her. Anyways, she works with some of the best artists in the business. Anyways, I had a few lessons with her, and I have her CD and stuff, and there's some different piano chords and stuff to run different notes and in different ways. And that's usually what I do. Sometimes the biggest thing is climate, and I've started using like the little mobile nebulizer, keep the vocal cords, plenty of moisture on the vocal cords and stuff like that. And I drink lots of throat coat tea with honey. Other than that, that's about it for me.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody. So we're going to do, again, the last call just to be respectful of your time. So we're going to do a last round.
Yep.
All right.
No, absolutely.
Starting with you, Jay.
Oh, sure. No sweat. Absolutely. So when you look so far after with New Dilemma and starting off, whether, with your hired guns and everything to kind of get the gears going, get the wheels rolling, how have you felt personally about the evolution of the band up to present?
There were some tough moments in the beginning and trying to find the right people. I never got into this game to hurt anybody's feelings or make enemies or do any of those things. And I found that unfortunately, as you try and, climb up the ladder, that sometimes that's an unavoidable thing. But when this group got together, the chemistry and the way the things happened was everything that I dreamed of happening. The way that I always saw it happening, the music sounding like it should from the digital stuff. I love I don't know what it is or why I love the new digital stuff in the backgrounds and some of the melodic things. But yeah, man, I'm very happy with where it ended up. There were many times I thought about giving up. There were many times I thought about throwing in the white towel and calling it quits. It would have been easier to do for me. But there was just that thing like down inside is just like wouldn't let me do it, because what does that say if I just give up? Now if there's legit reasons, if for my kid or any of that, and I had to turn around and walk away, I would without any question, but not under that type of circumstance. So man, I got really blessed with this group of guys, and I don't even know what else to call it, man. It's an absolute honor to work with these guys. And we've become great friends. It's like family now. I mean, it's just such a different ball game. And I think that might answer the question more than anything is for the first time, it's like a family.
Nice. No, absolutely. That's kind of like a fun little question. You can't, it's pretty heavy on me. Like you can't really see it because I'm kind of like covered up right now in my hoodie. But do you or any member of the band have a New Dilemma tattoo?
I do not. I probably will. I have not yet. But I more than likely will. I'm surprised I don't.
Nice, man. And when it comes to, performing live, I know that, when it comes to the passion that you and your band have for performing to crowds, what kind of stages do you really enjoy? Like, of course, you talked about not downgrading your guys' value, which I think is awesome. And I loved hearing it that way. But is there something about the stages you like to play on where it comes to like, how close you are or aren't to the crowd, being that you love to, really feel that energy that you like to look for in the venues that you play?
No, because it's tough because the big stages generally you have like the gate or something. But we love the big stages because everybody's a mover. Our whole front line, our bass player is insane. Like everybody is so active that a small stage kind of confines us and it doesn't really let us get the energy out that we have to give. at the same time, when I have those, I jump down off the stage generally at some point, and I'm standing on the rack either way to have that conversation and go up and down the line with the fans. So I don't really let it stop me either way. But I do tell everybody when we were on tour with Cold, I think we played this like 500 cap room, which with them is a pretty small room. And it was sold out. It was packed to the gills, you know, security pushing people out of the way with flashlights to walk through. And everybody was right at the front of the stage. And honestly, that was one of my favorite shows I've ever played to date. The connection and the intimacy. So I think for me, there's pros and cons to both sides. I really enjoyed that upfront thing. But as the crowds get bigger and bigger, honestly, you do have to be careful because in this day and age, it can get dangerous. Absolutely. So for me, I like the moving around to the big stages and being able to get down to the crowd. But man, every now and then there's that small venue that just like lights your fire, and you're like, man, I didn't even know it could be like that. So, yeah, I guess it's kind of a roundabout answer, I guess, sort of.
Nah, no worries, man, for sure. And just for the hell of it, just for the curiosity of it, when you do find that you're able to, jump down to get into the crowd or up to the crowd, do you use a wireless mic?
Oh yeah, always, man. I learned many years ago I cannot be wired. It's not safe.
You just end up stringing someone up.
I usually just tripping over myself, man. I don't stay still. I don't just stay in there. I like side to side corners, and yeah, it's dangerous for me. And I'm kind of a bigger fella. Like, man, I'm only so agile, so you need to take some of the risk out of it.
Right, for sure. Angel, let's kick it up to you. Fans, make sure you're popping in your final comments and questions because it is last call for alcohol. So anything you want Joey to answer, make sure that we see it.
Brian had to bring back Yoko freaking Ono for this question. Would you bring back Lars to bring back Cliff? I'm sorry. Would you sacrifice Lars to bring back Cliff? Sacrifice Yoko to bring back John? Or sacrifice Rex to bring back Dime from Pantera? Who's coming?
I feel like there's bad juju around answering this one.
No, not really. I answered it.
Not really.
If I had to take somebody out, it's going to be Yoko to bring back
there
John.
You go.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
She doesn't deserve it.
Should not
that's my answer.
You know what? They need to play Yoko Ono records in prisons.
As the element. As just the mood music.
The mood music. That's funny.
No, it's torture.
It would be. That would be.
when you need a confession out of an inmate.
Yeah. All right, stop. I'll confess. I'll say whatever you want. I'll sign whatever.
Yeah. I'll sign a waiver.
Where can we find merch?
newdilemma.com. You can find merch. You can find music videos, all the links everywhere. Social media at New Dilemma Official. You can find everything you need to find. You can Google New Dilemma and find us. New Dilemma on any streaming platforms, and you're going to find us, man. We're all over the place now.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure, man. 100%. Well, Joey, man, we can't thank you enough, man, for spending some of your evening and hanging out with us and rocking out with us. And of course, so much love to you, your band, and of course, your wife with her recovery and your kids. We really, really appreciate that. And the biggest thing for myself and Angel is that you had a good time. You enjoyed yourself. You felt respected.
Absolutely.
And you liked the questions that were asked, and just overall felt that this was beneficial to you and New Dilemma.
This was great, man. A pleasure, and we'll definitely hit you up when we got some more stuff happening. Chat some more.
Absolutely, man. Please do. Always absolutely welcome for sure. Metal Summoners, New Dilemma fans, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Great questions, great interaction. Thank you so much for supporting Joey and what he's doing and everything with New Dilemma. Make sure you're following them on your socials. You can follow Angel at Angel Alamo 78 on Instagram as well as his Facebook. You You can find me also on Instagram at salem.vampire. Make sure that you're following the Metal Summit on Facebook and YouTube in particular. Like and subscribe, because that's where you're looking at Joey right now. That's how you're hearing about New Dilemma as we speak. But also make sure that you're giving a like and a follow to the Instagram page for the Metal Summit, because that's actually where we put out the guest announcements first. So that's how you'll know who's coming up on the show, and then we'll follow it up with the other socials. Again, thank you so much to the Mad Shad and the Mad Shad channel for putting together our intro. We really appreciate him for doing that for us. But again, thank you guys so much, Metal Summoners. Have yourselves an absolutely fantastic rest of your week and a great weekend. Guest announcement for next week's episode over the weekend, and we'll see you guys in a week. Again, on behalf of Joey and New Dilemma, and on behalf of Angel and myself, and for Psycho Steve, you can also check him out at The Real Psycho Steve on Instagram as well. But you guys all take care, be good to each other, and we'll see you guys in a week. Take care, have yourselves a great time, and listen to some great music, and make sure that you're checking out Toxic and everything that New Dilemma is doing. Take care, guys. We'll see you soon. As always, you've been watching the Metal Summit.